Last thing here is Scorn. Scorn, this is the H.R. Geiger inspired puzzle horror shooter game that launched this past weekend on PC and Xbox. It's on Game Pass. It has a 72 on Metacritic for PC. There are no Xbox. Oh, yes, there is. And a 72 on Xbox Series X. So I actually have played Scorn all the way through. I did it for IGN.com. I did the video guide for it. So I did a full walkthrough. If you know exactly where you're going, this game can be beaten in like 2 hours.
Oh.
It took me about 6 to do in a regular playthrough of just like wandering through and trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. But I imagine that like you could probably do this in closer to 4. Wait, what was my end? It was tough because it was hard for me to understand my playtime because like I was doing 2 simultaneous playthroughs. But it was between 4 and 6 hours that it took me to like play through it naturally. I hate this game. I think this game sucks really bad.
Okay. Wasn't quite expecting that.
No, it's not good. It sort of seemed people seem to sort of be torn on it as to whether or not they think it's awesome or terrible.
On it.
I played on PC for what it's worth, and I didn't really have a whole lot of performance issues, although there were some. But I think that like it is gross, right? And that's a strike against it for me. But it like if that's your game's thing, like if you're really committing to this weird like body horror-esque like aesthetic and whatever, like I can certainly respect that. But I think you need more to a video game than just that. And I think the puzzles are really tedious and like not fun. You tend to know what you need to do for a puzzle much longer than it takes you to actually complete the puzzle, which I think is a really big I think that's a really big red flag for me in a puzzle game. The combat is maybe, I mean, it's fucking awful, man. Like, I don't know how to say, like, it's really fucking bad without just saying, like, it's really fucking bad. It's really clunky. It's really slow. Your enemies hit you way faster than you can hit them. They are super accurate at long range and at short range. There are guns in it, but the guns deal a lot of damage, but you just don't have any ammo for them. And then the like melee attack that you have is really, really slow, first of all. And second of all, it'll take like 5 or 6 hits to take down one of the like basic enemy types. And like I said, since they're just like constantly attacking you and you're basically just like strafing around them, trying to like position yourself between like a small pillar so that like you're not getting hurt while your like melee attack is recharging, it just sucks. I really, really don't recommend this game to anyone unless you like really like H.R. Geiger and like that sort of visual stuff. But hey, it's also on Game Pass, so check it out, I guess.
What are people like, from what you've read from other people, what are they liking about it? Like what are the good qualities of it, if anything? Because I mean, like it's getting like a 72, so there's something going on with it. Is there anything that you can see that's redeemable in it?
Its visuals are striking. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it is a very well realized version of like H.R. Geiger stuff. And then who's that Polish artist that also like inspired a lot of like the Medium stuff? I'm forgetting his name, and I'm not really sure how to search him in this exact moment in time. But like, it is extremely good at emulating that sort of look. So like, if that's your thing, and that is a lot of people's thing, right? Then you're gonna like this, I think. The problem is, I just don't think that there's enough to it to make it really good. I don't think, like I said, I just don't think its puzzles are particularly like satisfying. I guess I could imagine if you want to like walk around and like if you don't mind being sort of stuck on a puzzle as you explore a space, like I guess that's fine, but it's not for me. There is some stuff in this game that I never thought I'd see in a video game. In terms of like really graphic violence and like sex stuff.
So
Okay, yeah. Like if I can speak candidly for a second, I think that this game should have a content warning in terms of like sexual violence. There's not like, I guess here's a spoiler. But it's also like it's a completely out of context spoiler because there is really no context for this that I was able to like glean. There is what I would consider a like mechanical rape scene in terms of you hook yourself up to this machine and then this tube comes down from above and you look down and your guy just has like a rock hard dick. And then the tube attaches itself to your penis and starts jerking you off. Gosh, this is a children's show. It's fucking not. But like that happens, and like it was very unexpected, and like I don't think that your character thinks that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like it seems like it's kind of a shock, and then some other gruesome stuff happens to you. But like I don't know. I found that to be pretty upsetting. Like really out of the blue. Like it just happens very suddenly. And I think that this game should have some sort of content warning saying, hey, just so you know, there's some weird sex stuff that happens that may or may not be consensual. It's like not super clear. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, that doesn't sound great. So with that,
Yeah.
what this is clearly rated like mature, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna pull up the ESRB rating of Scorn just to kind of see what that is, because I think that is like one of those important things, like just to know, like when you're playing a video game and stuff like that. But I guess that's kind of a larger discussion about content warnings and stuff like that. How much should you need to know before you go into a game, do you think?
Yeah. By the way, I just looked it up on ESRB. It does not have one.
Like a description?
It doesn't show up when you search it. I'm gonna click on it right here on the Xbox website. Enter your birth date. Yeah, because like I don't know. Look, I don't think that there's really any context for it that you can provide that is gonna like really go like, oh, that was first of all necessary, but also like I simply don't understand like what it was meant to do or say or anything like that. And hey, maybe I'm just not that smart. You know what I mean? Like maybe I missed the point. Okay. It is rated M for blood and gore, intense violence, partial nudity, sexual themes. That it's not partial nudity. It is just straight up a dick. Like it is just a dick. Yeah, I don't know. Like and that's not even what I like. I didn't love that part, and I think that should have had some sort of warning to it. But like, that's not even why I don't like the game. Like, I just think that it's like gross to be gross and edgy to be edgy without really saying anything, without really like having much. Like, there's no context for any of like the horrible, horrific acts that happen. I don't think. Maybe there is, you know, like, but there's no text in the game. There's no dialogue. You're just like wandering around this abandoned city, basically. And I don't really even know like what you're trying to accomplish. And at the end, it seems like you get really close to accomplishing something, but like it's just so unclear as to what it is. I don't know. Like, I would love to talk with someone who like got something out of this game because apparently people are, but I just don't think that the mechanics are fun. I think the puzzles are boring. I think the combat is terrible, and it looks really nice, but that's not enough for me to enjoy a video game.
Yeah, no, I think that is it's very interesting. I didn't even know it was a puzzle game necessarily. Like when I first heard about it too, I just thought it was kind of like one of those like environmental walking kind of things. And
that's interesting, isn't it? Because also in all the trailers, it makes it look kind of like a shooter, and it's like super, super not a shooter. There is shooting in it, but like you can hold like 5 bullets at a time or something like that, and like it is not a shooter in really any sense. But I guess there you go. That's Scorn. It's on Game Pass though, so like if you're interested in picking it up, like you can do it for free if you've got Game Pass. But if let me say this, if the H.R. Geiger stuff sounds interesting to you, play it until you get to combat. Combat starts in like chapter 2 out of 5. And then like if you are bouncing off the combat, I would in like really, really disliking it in the way that I did, then I'd say quit it because you've seen already like all there is to see, or like watch a video about it on YouTube or something like that. Because also the checkpoint system is terrible. Sometimes you'll get set back, like, I'm not kidding, 5 minutes for a combat that is dreadful and awful, and like it's not the sort of thing where you feel like you're scraping by the skin of your teeth. When you finish a combat section, you kind of go like, well, I don't know how I did that because that was just awful. But yeah, Scorn. There you go.
By the way, that Polish artist and photographer was Zdzisław Beksinski.
Okay, there you go.
So I found it. Didn't pronounce it right, but I found it.
I appreciate the effort, Justin.